Welcome everybody, this is the voiceover for the Pokemon Wilds Let's Play, and let's get started. Notice is that the first part of the video didn't have any sound, and unfortunately that really sucked because I didn't find out until a follower showed us earlier. So we're going in, we're making our world medium size. We're going with, of course, the name Jelly, and we're going with Green and the female trainer from Leaf Green and Fire Red. Generating usually takes a couple of minutes, not too bad, and we first start out on the beach. Now, you always start on the beach with Pokemon Wilds, and we had that savannah right next to us, so we're picking up an Eevee. We grabbed a Miltank for later reasons, also because, milk drink is one of the best early game potions that you can get. So we're just checking out the savannah here. I'm figuring that we can go into our first battle, and we're switching out to Eevee with the Shinx. And it's pretty much an easy takedown. We switch out to Miltank just to get a little bit more of that extra level damage, and so that Miltank can take a little bit of a hit. Which we're dropping because we want to get a milk drink. So I'm letting Miltank get that a little bit. I was running around, wasn't really feeling against the Ponyta, switched out to Eevee, and I'm going to open up the sleeping bag just to sleep. Can't do it around wild Pokemon, so I'm going to go up to this little bit of field here, and I'm sleeping. This is how you get health back in Pokemon, and you can kind of just go into your thing and check your Pokemon health from the tab just to see where you're going along. And I got a milk drink, so I'm gonna go up here. Tried to get a free Rattata, but I completely forgot that when the Rattata runs away from you, it angers it. And we had our first mistake right here. So next we're gonna go up against this Nidoran. I am in distraught at how bad I am at Nuzlocks, and this will be a common theme throughout this video. Of this Miltank kind of just pulling through early game. I'm checking out the savannah here. I'm wanting to go up north and visit a little bit of a different area. So I go up here. Wasn't fully sure why it was saying the savannah was a dangerous area, so I was checking it out a little bit. Pop over, go through the grass, find a Scyther. Just kind of use my Miltank to kind of do most of the damage here. It goes down without a thing, and you'll also notice that XP is pretty good in this game, especially since, like, I think I went from 11 to 12, and we're just going all over this desert trying to find a Gible. And we find one right here. I'm thinking about the best way to actually get the egg and run off with it. They're staying pretty close to it, so... And we just run! Then the cactus turn into Cacnea, which is a thing also in Pokemon Wilds. And I'm just kind of like sticking to the Numel here, going from Numel just until I can get up there, grab this Totodile, and we're just combing around the island, seeing what we can see on the outskirts. And I'm thinking about getting cut so that I can get some logs. Thinking about just kind of getting stuff early so that I can start working towards a base later on. Checking out kind of what they have. I see this pretty big field. I might come back to it later, but I was thinking about clearing out some of these trees because I really wanted to get a big space for a nice pasture for my Pokemon. Also, the apricons are great for ball making later. And so I did spend some time clearing this out. But it's also on the top right of my island, and I'm not really feeling it too much. I just did this like quick battle real quick with the Wooper. Just bubble beamed it to death. Get some grass, cut some more. And then this ghost appeared. And ghosts can be pretty high level and can be very like troublesome. The Gibble egg finally hatched. But as it was hatching, daylight happened. I did see the shanks. I wanted to get the shanks for either magnets or for leveling. I wasn't sure what I was going to do at first, so I just grabbed it. Kept going along. You'll see the corner of the Pokemon Mansion. And I can start using Dig. It takes me a few seconds here to figure out how to switch it on which button I had for on my controller for switching between the different types. But we finally got it. We're just checking out everything. And you'll also see that I will only grab Pokemon from the overworld. I'm not really interested in going into the grass, and for the Nuzlocke challenge, it can only be Pokemon that can spawn in the overworld. Is the limit that I gave myself. So I'm going to go pick up this Pokeball. We're going to cut some trees to get through here. Oh, I used the escape rope here, thinking that it would return me back to the original spawn point. Nope, just the nearest beach. Getting to be nighttime again. We're getting some more logs. I'm continuing down. Kind of just checking out what everything has to offer. Getting back towards my bed. Because I did, I think, drop Machop. Because Machop wasn't a Pokemon that I necessarily found in the overworld. So I wasn't interested in keeping it in my party. Pretty much. Oh, and then I found these Dragonite eggs. I was super excited about that. I just didn't know how I was going to get to them yet. Because I've heard some horror stories about Dragonites being a little rough to steal from and then get away safely. And I believe they're like level 30 or 40 possibly. And I was just like, that's going to wipe my whole team if I can't run away. It just really was not something I was looking forward to. So we're defeating this Nidoran pretty easily, getting some levels for Corphish, which kind of was turning into my strongest Pokemon at this point. And I was thinking about where I wanted to build a base. Cutting some grass, gonna get a fire and the box ready. Because you also can't release Pokemon from your party. You have to have it through the box. So, I was gathering some materials. Miltank leveled up, and we're trying to figure out what we wanted to change Stomp to. Checking out how much apricots we have for a moment, I pick up Machop, and we're going to get to building a little bit. Building as in just a campfire. I accidentally built 2, so I cut it down, and then I built a little box. Which boxes are used for storage in this game? So we're trying to put Eevee, our first knockout, into the box. And I was, or as suggested from the viewers, we were going to leave it in there. Or they wanted to leave it in there, and I was just going to release it. So here I am crafting a few balls. I had quite a bit at this point. Although, again, we're not catching through grass, so if there is an overworld Pokemon that I see that I want, and I have to, like, annoy it to get it to attack me, that's what those are for. So we're putting Machop back in our party, put Eevee in there. We released Eevee, but we're gonna keep them fainted. I might catch another Eevee just to put in there for the original Eevee, who fainted. We're going up against this execute. We're just, again, Corefish doing the blunt of the work. Just bubble beaming. The day-night cycle was pretty fast on this one. We're checking out the map. I'm looking at where I want to build my base. Now, I looked up to the top right. I kind of was like, that's a really far spot to go for just to find my base. And I kind of didn't want to go, as I was on the left part of the island all the way back. So then I decided that I kind of wanted to build near the ocean. And I found the savannah, and I kind of liked how it looked at the top up here. So we're just gonna stay here, is really what we decided on. And I kind of like the savannah. I could not remember if it had a different house model, but we're just clearing it out of all the top grass. And like I said, I kind of like the top part of the cove here. I'm thinking about how I kind of wanted to do this. So if this is going to be my first base, we were definitely going to keep it small. And I wanted to get a non-PETA friendly little pen setup for Pokemon that I'm specifically just getting 1 or 2 items from, which is what you'll see here. And we're just going to drop Miltank down so I can start getting that milk drink. Or the Moo Moo milk. Not very PETA friendly, but it is what it is. So now I'm thinking about collecting the Mareep, mostly for the soft wool for the bedding later on that I'm going to need to make an actual bed. And I believe Mareep also does some light. So we also won't need to put a torch down because Mareep will be the light that we need for the pins. So we're going to do a little bit more battling. And we kind of get a little scared. So we're going to throw out Corefish. We're going to Bubble Beam. Get the XP. And this is the point where we're kind of like, we need to get Gibble a little high so that Gibble can start doing everything and being our sweeper that Garchomp can possibly be. But I'm really terrible, as I've never really used Garchomp, so I didn't really know how we're going to build him. But we're just kind of leveling for a little bit. Corefish being our main hitter, so we're just swapping in and out. Corefish is getting some levels, and Gibble is leveling up slowly behind. I've thought about getting a Cyndaquil, so I stayed in his light and thought about it a little bit more, but I wasn't really feeling like I needed to pick up a fire type yet, and I was kind of really interested in probably finding a Vulpix later on. We're using the Moo Moo milk to heal the Corefish again, so that we can do that. See how I can do with 1 scratch. And we're kind of getting a little close here. Kind of got a little nervous. But Gibble could take a couple of scratches, so we're not too bad. I was thinking about leveling up my Totodile a little bit in the meantime. I was like, he's a little low. We can get him up a little bit, so we're going to fight him with this Apom instead of trying to just heal them with Moo Milk every time in between battles. Trying to get a little bit XP going on some of the other Pokemon. So I'm building a fire real quick, and I start building my house, which is just gonna be a small house because it didn't really need to do a whole lot. I just needed to sleep in it. We're cutting the grass to clear out some room. And as I said, the Mareep and the fire will keep the light going. And I kind of just stay here. I don't want to be building out in the dark because I really don't want a ghost spawning. So I'll build on the edge here. And that's pretty much all we were going to do. Just get a 2 wide wall and two height wall and 2 height roof. Pretty much all we need. So I'm looking at how to get clear glass for both the Sylph Scope and for some windows, which I'm gonna need a couple other Pokemon and some sand, which isn't too hard to get. Clearing out this grass a little bit. Then kind of get bored of that, so I start going down a little bit and exploring a little bit of the other area, the whole area. Saw this Bulbasaur. I was pretty interested in that. Um, Mostly because I just like Bulbasaur. It's not too bad to be into Pokemon specifically. So I'm sleeping, watching the health go up on the Gibble, trying to make sure that it's nice and healthy before I start training it again. And we're gonna go out, do a little bit of training. I found the secret key for the Pokemon Mansion, so that'll be something to look forward to later. I wanted to explore a little bit inland, so I'm using Gibble to kind of like just dig up, and so that I could go inland a little bit. And I've kind of made it back to right where the original point that I had spawned in at. I found the lab, so that was a pretty interesting find for later. And I'm just kind of exploring, going back to that original area. Digging up some stones. Just cutting along, getting easy paths. Doing a bit of exploring. I was, again, thinking about that Cyndaquil, just so that I could have it follow around me during nighttime. But ultimately, again, thought against it and fight this Azurill instead. Which we made quick work of it. Then fight the Shroomerish, who Paralysis was really doing its job here. Pinsir. Get some more levels on my Gibble. Found this Lapras, so I picked it up because an early game surf Pokemon is never too bad. Walked past the Dragonite eggs. Found a Dawnstone. Using quick paths to go up and through a lot of the mountainous area. Saw a Gyarados up there. And an Onix. Which I think Onix is another friendly Pokemon that we can pick up if we wanted, but completely ignored that Rattata because I am not Rattatas. I will kill them. I'll kill them all for that first death of Eevee. Let's see. I was thinking about doing some more pins. And kind of like looking at which Pokemon we could get in to the pins. And we're gonna drop the Shinx here because I really wasn't using Shinx and I kind of really wanted the magnets to start saving up for those. And I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to keep Corphish or if I wanted to keep Totodile on the team, mostly because I only wanted one water type. So I'm making a small pen here so that I could throw, I think I went with Totodile down. And this is just me building a little water pen for him to sit in, so he's kind of happy. I mean, we're making small pens, but I never said that we can't make them happy in the process. Boop. And then we're going to throw Totodile down. Which, land and water Pokemon can be a little annoying to be getting in and out of water and you not having enough, big enough, or if the pool is too big, it can be very annoying. So here we're fighting a Plusle. And I'm thinking a level 9 between a level 11 is not too hard. So I kept Gibble out for a little while, and then I used Corphish. And I did not realize that Corphish was so low. So this Plusle kind of killed him. Remember when I said that I'm bad at Nuzlocks? Yeah. But Gibble learned Dragon Breath, and Machop got a couple levels. But we added the second Pokemon to the box. So here we are sleeping, getting the life back up, picking up Bulbasaur so that we can have another Pokemon for cut, grab this Wooper, and I'm going to build a little pool for Wooper. I honestly couldn't remember what ground type Pokemon give, so that's why I was doing this. And I was going to throw Wooper down. And he's just chilling next to Totodile. I was going to build another pen for Bulbasaur, but then I realized that I kind of needed Bulbasaur for cut, so he stays inside the pen. Fight this Tauros real quick. I felt pretty good, especially since it was lower level and I was getting a lot of good XP for it. Grab the Cyndaquil because I wanted to throw it in the house so I didn't have to put a torch down and sleep. Because I think in the dark, your ghosts can come into your house and grab you. I tried to get that Furo, didn't work out. I'm also staying kind of in this Mareep light, trying to stay safe. Dreaded Rattata. I was like, oh, he can last a quick attack, it's totally fine. And down goes the evil rat Rattata. So we're gonna go up here, grab some of our Pokemon holding items, which is like the Moo Moo Milk, and we're gonna sleep. Get our Pokemon all up. And we're fighting Kangaskhan. And my third mistake happened here. I was like, oh, I could hit another one. And as you can see, I am very, very bad at Pokemon Nuzlocks. I did not realize that Comet Punch was 3. And yeah, we lost the Gibble we worked really hard on. So in dismay, and to the name of the box, which we call Death Box, we're gonna go get that Dragonite now. Because we always wanted a Dragonite, and don't let me ever tell you that we tried to get a Gibble first. We always wanted the Dragonite. I thought there might be a river, so I tried to go down it. There is no river. I braved the nighttime because I got a little nervous. Going around the graveyard again, I don't really want a ghost spawn. Figured out that I had to go through it. So I went through it down to this beach that we first spawned in on. And I'm kind of making my way down because I want one of those dragon eggs. So I stand here for a good while because I'm trying to figure out how the best way to get the Dragonite egg. And I don't really know why that Magikarp hated me, but it did. I said I would roll back, and I did. And that the Magikarp, I guess, got offended that I stole the Dragonite's eggs. I don't really know what to tell you there. Um, mean Magikarp. So I'm making my way all the way back up, trying not to fight anything too dangerous. And trying to walk around a little bit to see if I can get that egg to hatch. Oh look, another Eevee. It is taunting us that we could have had an Eevee. Doduo. We're doing some more training. I figured I'd get Machop up a couple levels if he was going to stay in the party. I wasn't too sure if he's going to be a permanent member, but we definitely is our only build type, and I don't want him to die or go anywhere too soon, so we're just keeping him in the party and trying to keep him as high as possible. I also wanted to get Bulbasaur up a few levels because I wanted the average Pokemon in grass to get high. This one we get a Dratini, and we name it after the very chatter, one of the chat members or so, who was also suggesting that we get the Dratini in the first place. So we just went ahead and grabbed the Dratini. Grabbed some Moo Milk, magnets, hard shells, and soft wool. The taunting Eevees. But so the wild Pokemon stay at a average level of your party. So we're keeping Bulbasaur a little bit low, but still leveling him up once or twice just to get Pokemon to start to be a little bit of a higher level. So we are training Machamp up here as well as Urso, getting some level in. Sleeping when we need to, just checking up on our Cyndaquil. Fire Pokemon can be a little difficult to make happy in the area that they're in, but they can give charcoal and stuff, so just checking in on him. And we're going up against a Miltank. I was pretty sure that I didn't want to get too low, and it gave great XP anyway. So you can see we got Urso 2 levels. And as long as Miltank didn't have rollout, if you know that reference, we were going to be fine. Because Miltanks in with rollout are no good. Cyndaquil would not get out of my way. I had to wait a second. And doing a little bit more XP grinding. Mostly aiming for those normal types with Machop so I can just get the easy kill. Like I said, build Bulbasaur up a couple levels. But mostly using Bulbasaur to stay at a lower level so that we can, so the average Pokemon level is not too high. Found a Chansey. I was like, oh man, can't wait for the XP on this one. Learn Seismic Toss. We are sleeping. Keeping that HP up. I was mostly so scared to lose Urso. So I am babying this Pokemon horribly. Because there's not too many flying types that we're going to get later. I get scared that I'm going to lose Machop here, so I switch over. Get some levels on Lapras as well. And just sleeping, as I believe this is the end of this episode. Because I had thought about going out and exploring a little bit more. Saw that this was aggressive, so we just kind of went here. We fight one more battle, and we close it for the end of the night.